Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here to really share my journey about innovation and sustainability. So I'm third generation business owner, and I co-founded Feed 9 Billion, and I'm also CEO and founder of Innovate 360. And I wear many hats as well. And my journey really started when I first, it wasn't when I graduated and then I worked in a bank and then after that I went to the business, but really started when I was young, very young. To I can remember in primary school, I used to follow my father to the factory, to the office, and I dreaded it every day because during the school holidays, when my friends were out there, playing, I would have to follow my father to the factory. And along the way, I got to observe a few things, unsaid things, but things that you saw, like how hard my father was working in those days. He'll be the one who waited for the lorry to come back every day, and to collect, to wait for the drivers to come back, and then after that send them back home. That was that kind of dedication. Every day, he will wait for the lorries to come back. So with that, that was my first lesson in life, to really work hard. And I remember very vividly, he would always buy food back for the staff. In those days, treated everyone like family. That was something that I watched him as I grew up. And every Saturday during the school holidays, I would have to follow him to visit our customers, which I also dreaded because I had to go with him, drive around Singapore. He would leave the bill and then collect money, and that was a way of life. But that was how you saw that relationship between your customers and the supplier. So that was my first start into the business. Today we've grown. We are Singapore's oldest and only sugar manufacturer. We supply ingredients, we import and export sugar and flour, and then we also manufacture our own products. And during COVID, we actually collaborated with the Singapore government to launch an e-commerce platform called foodculture.sg. And that was really to help companies to go digital, connect consumers, and to go global. So this is our traditional products, if you can see. Really, it's something, when I was working in the business, just graduating and then working in a bank, I went to the business because my father's health wasn't so good. And to me, I knew eventually I had to come back to the business, but I didn't expect so soon. And one of the challenges that I faced was whenever I had new ideas, fresh out of school, worked in a bank, got some experience, you tell the older workers what to do, they tell you, I eat more sugar than you eat rice. And I'm like, wow, how do I deal with that? So it took a lot of convincing. My first few projects was really trying to just get a very basic standard, like for example, a HACCP, like an ISO. So to implement such a standard, when I told that to my brothers, they laughed at me. They say, no, you cannot tell the uncle what to do. The uncle will tell you what to do. So I tried, I went into the production every day, and slowly from there, I was able to show how dedicated I was to the business, and that change was inevitable. Some of the things that they were doing, they were doing everything that they knew, and what I did was just try to modernize that. So slowly, I gained their trust, and eventually, I managed to convince them, and that's when I decided to do something about the traditional business. So we make rock sugar, red sugar, and black jaggery sugar. So the orange sugar, which we call red sugar, is actually your putu mayam sugar. And so I wanted to do something different. So that's when we started a new brand, a new experience that wasn't just B2B, but B2C as well. And this is Jewels. Here's a quick video about it. So it's really not just the colors, the flavors, but the experience where you enjoy. And that was really trying to get the younger generation to know you can use rock sugar in your everyday life. And since then, we sell to whole of China, and still continuing to grow. So we do also collaborations. So one of the things, another lesson to learn is, you tap on the strengths of others, and that's where you leverage their networks, their customers, to look at, your products. And so we worked with Clipper Tea, a 150-year-old company. We worked with even a startup, Hook Coffee. We also worked with lifestyle brands like Ing the Label. We did a pop-up store at Design Orchard once. So it's endless opportunities for collaboration, and that's very important. And we went beyond just, food. We went to jewelry, and that's shown in the next slide.
Oh, it's got gold in it. Yeah. How pretty.
This is called Jewel's Rock Sugar.
Mine's changing flavors.
So this was really our 24-karat gold rock sugar sticks, and it was launched together with Poheng. So I guess the beginning part of my journey was really about understanding where I was, learning the ropes. It's constantly a lot of learning and adapting as well. So, I stepped into a kind of like a sunset industry, and I really wanted to see how I could change that. And along the way, I found that passion, and that passion has led me to where I am. I started Jewels 2016, 2017 with whole of China. It's still currently selling in all the high-end supermarkets and also in like your e-commerce platforms. We built something, and we needed to expand. So this is a picture taken in the 1980s. So that's actually our very first factory where my grandfather built it in Hougang, Upper Serangoon, Gangka. So it was there, 1947. We moved to Chimbi in the 1990s, 2000s. That was where my father had a big part to play. And me and my brother, we built Innovate 360. We tore down the old and rebuilt it. So you can still see a bit of remnants, the rock sugar facade, and we called it Innovate 360, really because we wanted to showcase innovation 360 degrees. And a reason why, and from there we actually decided, hey, let's use this as an opportunity to help others. Because during my time, in the business, 15 years then, I knew nothing about sugar. I was working in a bank, I studied in school. No one teach you about the sugar trade, no one teach you about that. So really tapping on all these different partners who helped me. Institutions as well, polytechnics, ITE, the universities. And that's when really got that urge to really want to give back. So this was how we did that. And one of the things that we did was really to, we built extra spaces, and rather than rent it out to strangers, we thought, hey, why not we rent it out to startups? And we also had new products. Our customers were asking, do you have any more Singapore products? We were like, wow, you want me to create new product? Oh, so much work. I very scared. Why not we tap on the startups to create products for the distributors? So it's again leverage. This is a picture of one of the previous TED talk speakers, I think Sandhya from Shok Meats. She makes cell-based shrimps. And that was in 2019, 6 months after I got to know them, when we started Innovate 360. It was the first siu mai made of cell-based shrimps, and it was $5,000 per kg. They're trying to reduce the price right now. So don't worry. And then of course we also I have also eaten insects, from crickets, silkworm more recently, and then black soldier flies. And that's not a real egg. That's plant-based egg. Startups brought it to do even more like poached eggs as well. We have a startup that does. You take a packet of tofu, you take out that liquid and make it into alcohol. So really exciting things that I do. So Innovate 360, we started in 2018. Today we have infrastructure which supports startups in scaling. So we have co-working spaces, kitchen, labs, production spaces. We have 3 facilities right now. But I'm most excited about our 4th facility, which will be at Scape Orchard. I'm not sure how many of you remember Scape. But we're taking over level 1, level 2. And really to create a new space. And you guys are the first people to hear about it. We're creating something to let the youths, and try to encourage entrepreneurship. We will bring in restaurants, cafes, have spaces where the youth can experience and innovate within our space. So that's something that we're doing. We have a fund as well, so we invest in startups. That's how we make our money too. And then we also have an accelerator program. That's really the foundation for a lot of our startups. But I guess what's really important is helping them to scale, go to market, and we tap on all the different partners. So we have more than 30 over mentors and 100 over partners that we tap on to help our startups. And that's how we create an ecosystem. So these are some of the many startups that are very interesting. Cell-based, the ones above are all cell-based. So be it fish, chicken, pork, fish maw, beef. We have startups that are producing this. Unfortunately, only cell-based chicken has been approved in Singapore. So you might still be able to get that to try. But if you are curious about this kind of new future foods, you can go to FairPrice and probably get Cool House, which is made from precision fermentation using microflora. So it doesn't use dairy. It actually uses plants to create whey, which is kind of an animal kind of protein, like protein. And that's found in the ice cream. We have startups that are creating protein from air. So that's the future of food. And that's really very important, I guess, for Singapore. And why so? Because Singapore only has less than 1% of land available for farming. We import 90% of our ingredients from 170 countries. That's really staggering to know that, in terms of food security, we are still not there. So the Singapore government has its own strategy, and one of it is trying to get our farmers to go overseas to farm, and then we bring their produce back to Singapore. We are also, importing from 170 countries, but at the same time, the 30 by 30 goal. And so what is the 30 by 30 goal? It's really about trying to grow 30% of our nutritional needs by 2030. And that has placed Singapore on the world map, in fact. The government has already put aside $300 million to support this industry. And that's what's making our sector so exciting. And so it's another lesson, which is, again, on the opportunity. So this is the opportunity, the right timing. In 2018, I also started Feed 9 Billion, but this was co-founded together with SIM, Temasek Poly, and Focus Tech Ventures. It was really to help us find a neutral platform to do what we were doing in a very nascent industry, to raise awareness of food innovation, food sustainability through collaboration. So it's a non-profit organization, and what we really aim to do is really raise that awareness. And that's because by 2050, as you know, there'll be 9.8 billion people. And 6.5%, 65% will come from Asia. So what we do at Feed 9 Billion, we launched the Good Food Startup Manual, which is available for download. So if you're a startup, come look for us, download this resource, and then you learn how to navigate your business. But at the same time, we also give out grants, so that's something that you can look forward to. We also launched the alternative protein database, really to help you in your agri-food tech business. So we've got lots of partners, but really the crux of this is, we try to involve everybody, have a lot of programs throughout the year, really to create that awareness. So with that, before I say my thank you, I actually want to just remind you that anything is possible. From the video, the very first video was really about just try. You never know what's going to happen. And when you go into it, the first thing is leverage. Look at who you know, who you have. That network is very important, and use that to your advantage. At the same time, look at the opportunities. And with that, hopefully you make it. So thank you for listening.